Hey guys, it's your girl Tara Crush back with another review, and this time it is for Sistas on BET. If you haven't already, please hit my subscribe button down at the bottom. Thank you so much. And I do want to apologize. I did not review last week because, again, I was in Kentucky visiting with a grandson and I didn't record. But here I am, I'm back. So I want to jump right into it. So last week, when we left off, we saw that Danni had went on the date with the guy from the airport, which I totally supported in the beginning. But when he got smart with her, when he got to the bar, I said, something's off with this dude. I couldn't really point at it, but he just assumed that they was having sex, remember? And he was like, well, whenever I'm paying for the drinks, I just assume. And then he was pretty definite that that's what she was going to want to do. And I didn't really like that. But, you know, she went with it and took him back to her house, which I thought was foolish because if you're not going to be with them, then why even bring him back? So we saw that the week before, you know, he had a little bit of shrimp pimp. And, you know, she, wasn't at all impressed. And so last week we saw where they actually tried to do it and it just wasn't good for her. And she eventually told him that he had to leave. And he was upset. He called her a couple of B's and she eventually just berated him. She read him the riot act and let him know just why she didn't want to let him finish, that his penis was just so small. And she just had no reason to want to finish. And he did not like that. And so he slapped her. And I was like, oh my God, I knew that was coming. Because you don't know that man like that. He had already given context clues that maybe he ain't all the way wrapped too tight up here. And if he's got a small pee-pee like that, you know that that's a point of contention for him, right? You got to wait until he gets out the house. He's got to be gone. You can't do that while he's still in the house. You can't do it. So that's where I left off last week. So picking up this week, we saw her on the bed and he's steadily getting ready and he's talking crap, you ain't nothing. And yeah, I did that. She's like, so did this happen? He said, this just happened. So he's basically, antagonizing her. And then he turns around and spits at her in her face. And so at that point, she's like, she runs to go in the kitchen. And he follows her, tackles her to the ground and starts to choke her, makes her apologize to him. And so I was just like, oh, this guy here, girl, she should have kneed him in the balls. Like, if he was straddling me, yeah, these balls and this knee, them balls and this knee right here, buddy, I'm going to put my knees in your scrotum until they reach your sternum. Yeah, you heard that. Look it up. So, yeah, I was definitely wanting her to fight back, but I understand why she didn't. But just for anybody else that's out there, if somebody is choking you and you want to really break free, turn your head this way. Turn your head that way. That 9 times out of 10 will help you get out of a stranglehold. Just turn your head as fastly as you can, and that'll usually loosen up the grip. I didn't have a chance to tell Danni that, but yes, that is definitely a defense mechanism to turn your head. Turn your head. So, and then do what you fight for your life at that point, because that's what you're doing. But anyway, he's choking her, so he gets up and he leaves. She follows him outside. I'm like, not smart. Why are you following him outside? I said, this is about to go very, very badly. And she comes outside, and I think she had like a pole or something in her hand. And she's like, so you want to hit? You want to hit? And he pushes her down or something. She gets up and she's got this pole and she's beating him with it. Then she busts out all the windows in his car. Boom, 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 boom. And then he was like, you crazy. And he gets in the car, and then she goes to get in her car. She said, you want to hit? All right. And she slams into his car. I was like, well, guess he won't be hitting nobody no time soon. I think that was his last time hitting somebody for a little while. Okay, so moving forward. Then we go to Danni's house, and of course she let, Gary come over and do the oochie coochie, but she would not let him stay. He was trying his best to be able to stay in the apartment. She was like, nope, you need to leave when I leave. And he started to get jealous again, but he realized he's still on probation. And then he asked, could he bring some stuff over there? Then he asked, could he lock it up? Like, he was just trying everything. Bro, go to work. Well, I'm going. Okay? So she gets him out of there, goes to work. And then we see Fatima and Zach. And, you know, she's still upset over the trip to Karen's house. And I would, if I had to guess, I would think she's upset because he was showing so much emotion towards Karen. And to me, you wouldn't be that upset and that mad if you didn't still have feelings. Like, come on, Zach, let that go. Like, you should have just been unbothered by everything she had to say. And why does she get to say what she want to say? Fatima get to say what she wants to say, but you didn't get to say nothing. Like, hold on. I was these ways because you was these ways. Like, I just want women out there. Yes, it's easy to be a Karen. No pun intended. It's easy to be Karen and blame the men. But we also have to look at our own behavior in a relationship. And if you're the one that you feel like got dogged out, man, then you got to look at your behavior in that relationship as well before she was dogging you out. And that's just that on that. Because if Karen did that, she wouldn't feel like such a victim. Because she is victimizing herself and she is not a victim. It takes two to tango. She did her part, he did his to make a toxic relationship. Period. And that's why Karen is really not feeling the accountant, because he's not toxic. So she needs toxicity in her life, and that's why Zach is such a draw to her. So we definitely saw him ask her to go to dinner. He said he wanted to ask her something, which we know if we watch Zatima, he's about to ask her to marry him. You should be watching Zatima. It ain't my fault. I'm definitely going to spoil it. But yes, that's what he's asking her at dinner. And Andy goes to work. And of course, she talks to Fatima. And she's like, look, your friend, your cousin, the judge did not call me back. And she was like, hold on. So basically, the judge called and told her she can come at 5 to see Sabrina. She was like, whoa, that was fat. Like clockwork. So I thought that was cute. So she's finally going to see Sabrina. But Karen asked her to come to the shop because Karen finally got her mother to allow her to go to work for 45 minutes. And she asked her to come to the shop to try to help talk her mother into leaving her alone, basically. And so, you know, she leaves work and goes to the shop, and she meets Karen there and Pam, and they're all talking and whatnot. And she gets, you know, Karen's mother to, you know, leave her be. She said, well, the VA called, I think she said the VA called, the VFW, something. She had to go down there with the vets, okay? So she's gone, and now Karen's all happy, and I'm happy for her or whatever, but Mom called the accountant, so we know Aaron's going to be over there. And is it just me? Karen knows that is not Zach's baby, right or wrong. If you did the math, then you know that's not his baby. Period. Why are you still dragging it on? Oh, because if you let it go, then you have to let it go. So you do know that when this baby come out looking like Aaron, that you're going to have to admit that it's Aaron's baby. You know Aaron's going to want a DNA test. You're not going to be able to make this be Zach's baby when it's Aaron's. That's what you need to understand. Period. We'll see how that goes. But I do believe with the 13-day method, I believe she knows exactly that Aaron is the baby father. And she just don't like that answer. Because she don't want to have to let go of Zach. I get it. It's just terrible. It's very, very pitiful and desperate, but whatever. Okay, and so let's talk about Robin, because Robin calls Hayden into the office because, you know, he asked Paris last week, you know, the week before last, if he had ever taken Andy out, and he was like, no. And so I thought that was pretty telling, because now he's looking like, well, who sent me this email? So he calls his friend at the CIA and gets Hayden's address, basically his IP address. And Hayden tries to act like he didn't know what was going on. Oh, you know what was going on. And so he finally admitted it. He said, I just wanted you to know. I don't want you to get caught up. I can't stand Hayden. Did I mention that? And he was like, well, you on your third strike, so you just really need to be careful. And he was like, and Hayden was, you know, flexing as much as, you know, I made 34% of the revenue in this firm last year, blah, 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 blah. And he was like, that was last year. The year before that was only 12. He said, so it don't matter. Yes, it does. It absolutely matters. And whatever it is that you feel like you bought the firm, guess what? You can't take those clients with you when you leave. Competition rules. I'm pretty sure you can't take your client list with you unless they family or something like that. So who cares what you did? Andy, anybody else can handle those situations, right? That's what I thought. So he dismisses Hayden. Hayden goes in the office and calls Gary. Gary's laughing at him because he's like, nah, we got to do something about him. So I guess Hayden thinks he's about to take over the firm. What? Boy, you... I guess that's what because he said that he can run that thing by himself. Now, what I don't get is why Andy didn't tell Robin. I understand he berated you. I understand he humiliated you. He disrespected you. He did all of those things. But business is business. Do you really want Gary or Hayden being your boss? You better tell Robin what you know. You should have took pictures of it. I mean, what was the use of you meddling with the paperwork if you wasn't going to tell anybody? Oh, I was so frustrated. Is this about the business? Is it a business? Is it about this? Shut up. Shut your slut ass up. Shut up, Andy. Shut it up. Because you had one job. And, and then with Hayden, bragging about the client that he bought in. Yeah, she should have said something. And if he would have told, if she would have allowed Robin to tell her where the email came from, she might have been okay divulging that information. I don't know. But it's just, it's weird and it's crazy. I don't get it. So, okay, so, Andy has been looking for Danni all day. And she finally catches up with her. Danni comes to the office, basically, because she wanted to tell Andy that they get to go see Sabrina. And Andy's got these big glasses on, and we already know what happened to Danni, right? Well, she gets in the office, and she's like, what's wrong, Danni? What's wrong? And she's like, I need a lawyer. And she's like, why? I killed him. And I don't know. I don't think he's dead. I think he's dead. I don't think he's dead. I think it's going to be, I don't know. He's not dead. He's just going to be hurt. It's going to be like a vehicular assault, something like that. And she's going to be able to defend herself because he's going to be alive and he's going to have to answer to what he did to her. Because she still should have the spit in a paper towel or something, whatever she wiped it off with. So she should have his DNA to prove that there was an attack, period. So how that's going to work with you, because it was premeditated. It's first degree something. Because you knew what you was doing when you left out of that house, Danni. You should have stayed on in there and called the police or something. I bet he had called Fatima and had her call Madam. Yeah. That's what you should have, that's what you should have done. But it is what it is. Now you there with Andy, and Andy can maybe possibly help you. Few things I want to celebrate. We did not have to see Q today. We did not have to see Calvin today. We did not have to see Maurice today, and we still ain't seen Sabrina. Like, is Brenda still on this show? Like, I think I see her next week, because her hair's like, poof, because they made her take her braids out, because she was stupid enough to say that they weren't hers. Like, girl, you supposed to play that off. Made them take them out. What you gonna do? Lock me up for telling you this is my hair and it ain't? Prove it. I bought it. It's mine. So we're just gonna see where all these storylines go next week. But again, I don't think dude's dead. I don't think he's dead. I think he's hurt, but I don't think he's dead. And we're just gonna, pretty decent, solid episode, wouldn't you say? So I'm back, and again, I do apologize for missing last week, but I don't plan on missing no more, okay? Y'all forgive me. Thank you. If you haven't already, please hit my subscribe button down at the bottom. Thank you. I don't know what that is, but it's done. Ha ha. Okay, guys, that's it. And that is my $5.02. Peace.